China didn't issue an update. They delivered a verdict. There was no theatrical press conference, no alerts, and no manufactured hype. It was a quiet upload, a collection of FITS files, photometric data, and astrometric coordinates sliding into their national archives like standard paperwork. But for the researchers who opened those files, the contents were anything but routine. They were looking at confirmation. It was the one scenario Western astronomers had desperately hoped to avoid. Because China's fresh observations of 3I/Atlas, recorded during the most suspicious 36-hour blackout in the history of Western astronomy, don't just fill a void, they rewrite the entire narrative. The data shows an interstellar visitor brightening at the wrong moment, expanding its coma in ways that defy our models, and forming a tail structure that contradicts every previous reading. It was behaving with a level of precision no natural comet should ever display. The strangest part? Nothing about the object changed, yet everything did. It was as if 3I/Atlas wasn't waiting for solar warmth. It was waiting for us. Waiting for that gap. Waiting for the specific window when only one nation would be watching. China's discovery doesn't just present a new mystery. It confirms the one we've been trying to deny. In this story, the timeline is everything, and the timeline is wrong. On July 1st, 2025, the Atlas survey in Chile spotted the object that would become 3I/Atlas, only the third confirmed interstellar visitor in history. But the moment the orbit was calculated, something fell off. It wasn't just moving fast, it was moving too fast. Clocking speeds near 209,000 kilometers per hour, it slid through the solar system on a path that never originated from our sun. Western observatories poured every resource into tracking it. Hubble, JWST, the VLT, and Gemini all aligned to create a seamless observational arc. And then, at the exact moment the comet reached its most sensitive evolutionary phase, the screens went dark. Not by accident, but by a 36-hour schedule. 5 major Western observatories went offline simultaneously. Gyroscope realignments, mirror cleanings, instrument swaps, maintenance cycles all aligned with uncanny precision. In that tiny window, a slit opened in the fabric of global astronomy. 3I/Atlas slipped into the sun's glare at the precise moment a comet reveals its true nature through peak outgassing and coma expansion. A natural comet would have nothing to hide. An unnatural one would have everything to reveal. The West closed its eyes. China didn't. Eyes in the dark. High-altitude stations in Tibet, Qinghai, and Yunnan remained wide awake. No maintenance cycles, no scheduling conflicts. The skies in that hemisphere were dark and perfectly aligned for continuous tracking. While the most advanced observatories on Earth slept, China captured every frame. Tail morphology, dust grain distributions, and brightness curves, all time-stamped with millisecond precision. What they recorded was not what Western scientists expected. The coma didn't just grow, it expanded toward the sun. The tail didn't just appear, it elongated at an unnatural rate. The brightness surged by 0.3 magnitudes in mere hours. China didn't just fill the gap, China exposed it. A pattern in the particles. To understand China's findings, we must understand the coma, a halo of dust released when a comet wakes up. But 3I/Atlas didn't wake up, it reacted. It responded. It spoke in particles. Earlier detections showed a coma dominated by carbon dioxide, implying a thermal history different from anything in our system. During the blackout, China observed a structural rearrangement of the dust cloud. It wasn't random sublimation, it was a pattern. When the JWST and VLT finally came back online, the time series was broken. The comet had moved 1.2 million kilometers, blurring any high-resolution reconstruction. But China's data stitched the pieces together perfectly. The conclusion was simple. This visitor wasn't behaving like a rock trying to survive the sun. It was behaving like an object responding to it. Strategic astronomy. This wasn't just good science. It was strategic. While Western observatories with mirrors 4 times larger recorded nothing, China created the first continuous photometric sequence of an interstellar comet during its peak activation. They recorded the moment Western science missed, the moment 3I/Atlas revealed its true nature. Without China's logs, the West would have remained blind to the coma's sudden asymmetry and the sunward jet structures. Every recalculation pointed toward the same conclusion. 3I/Atlas is not a comet ejected randomly from another star. The silence from NASA and the ESA became deafening because China had the proof. When the raw data was pushed to the Sky Survey portal, the orbital uncertainty collapsed. The trajectory was confirmed, but the twist remained. The coma's elongation wasn't noise. It was directional, purposeful, the interstellar intent. Once the global data was merged, the unified timeline showed a phenomenon, not a rock. A nucleus too small to produce such a coma, a trajectory with suspicious precision, and a response time faster than physics predicts. China's observations don't push conspiracy. They simply show the truth the West tried to avoid. 3I/Atlas behaved differently when only one nation was watching. The fear wasn't that the comet was a physical threat. The fear was that it was deliberate. It wasn't the images or the brightness spikes that shocked the world. It was the silence. China observed something we weren't supposed to see. Comets don't react selectively. They don't change behavior only when half the planet is blind. We are studying an object that behaves like a system, one that has no obligation to reveal itself. Humanity is now divided by information. One nation holds the missing chapter, and the universe is not waiting for us to catch up. We didn't just detect an interstellar object. We detected an interstellar intent. The universe is paying attention, and it just proved it knows exactly when we aren't. What remains most unsettling is the seamless nature of the curve China provided. When you examine the full dataset, the behavior isn't chaotic or random. It's coherent and purposeful, resembling a trajectory correction or an activation sequence. Every pattern the West missed, China captured. Every doubt the West tried to dismiss, China confirmed. The private whispers of scientists have now moved to the center of the global conversation. If 3I/Atlas alters its behavior depending on who is watching, it forces us to ask a chilling question. What exactly is watching us back? This isn't about science fiction or Hollywood tropes. It's something far more grounded and frightening. We are observing an object that refuses to act like an object. It behaves like a system, a mechanism with its own logic and no requirement to be transparent with us. It utilized a 36-hour blackout window to reveal a different face and a different truth, and only one nation was there to witness it. A divided humanity. For the first time in the era of modern astronomy, humanity is divided not by how we interpret the stars, but by the information we possess. One nation holds the missing chapter of our first contact with this phenomenon, and the universe isn't waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. As 3I/Atlas continues its silent journey through our solar system, accelerating and reshaping itself under the glow of our sun, we are left with a reality that can no longer be ignored. This wasn't just the detection of a rock. It was the detection of an interstellar intent. It might be passive, ancient, or even benign, but it is intent nonetheless. The most undeniable fact of all is this. The universe is paying attention, and it just proved that it knows exactly when we are looking away. Closing call to action. If this revelation has you questioning what truly entered our solar system, stay tuned. Subscribe so you don't miss the next data drop from China or the inevitable response from NASA. Turn on notifications, because the next set of files could permanently change our understanding of our place in the cosmos. Tell us in the comments. Do you believe 3I/Atlas is simply a unique comet, or have we just witnessed the first interstellar system in motion? I'd love to hear what you think about this, so drop a comment below. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please share this video and subscribe to help the channel grow. Every bit of support counts.